All right, so you ready for another deep dive?
Always.
This one I think is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
It's about kind of appreciating the everyday, but in a different way than I think we normally do.
Okay.
It's from a book called The Camino Within.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. And specifically, we're going to be diving into the chapter, What Seems Like Nothing.
Hmm.
And I know the title might not sound like much, but honestly, it sets the stage for some pretty powerful reflections.
I'm intrigued already. What's the basic idea?
Well, it's using this idea of the Camino de Santiago, that, pilgrimage across Spain,
Right.
as like a metaphor for our own journeys, our own lives.
I see. So the idea is to find meaning along the way, not just at the destination.
Exactly. And that's where this whole idea of appreciating even the mundane, the things we might normally overlook, comes in.
Makes sense. So how does the author explore this idea?
Well, he talks about this time he was walking through the Rioja region, famous for its wine.
Beautiful area.
Stunning. He was just blown away by the beauty of everything, the architecture, the landscape, like picture-perfect vineyards stretching as far as the eye can see.
Sounds idyllic.
It was, but then he notices something, almost like a disconnect.
What do you mean?
The locals, they seemed almost indifferent to it all, like it was just background noise to them.
Yeah, I can see that. I think we all do that to some extent, right? It's like human nature. You get used to your surroundings no matter how beautiful or interesting they are. Eventually, they just kind of fade into the background a bit.
Right, it's like habituation, almost.
Yeah.
Like that feeling when you move to a new city, everything is exciting and new at first.
Totally. Every little thing catches your eye.
But after a while, it all becomes routine. You stop noticing the details as much.
I think there's even a biological reason for that, right? It has to do with dopamine.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's that feel-good chemical our brains release when we experience something new. It makes us more alert, more engaged. So we're basically wired to pay attention to novelty.
I guess that makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Got to be aware of the unfamiliar to stay safe. But then, doesn't that mean we're always chasing that next new thing to get that dopamine hit?
It can feel that way sometimes, but the author's point is that we can choose to shift our focus. It's about appreciating what we already have, even the things that have become familiar.
It's like we have to retrain our brains to see the beauty in the everyday, right?
Yeah, it's like the author saying, hey, wake up, take a look around, really see what's in front of you. He even talks about how we can apply this to our relationships.
That makes sense. I mean, think about it. When you first meet someone, you notice all these amazing little things about them.
Absolutely. Their quirks, their sense of humor, the way they light up when they talk about something they're passionate about.
But over time, we can get so used to those things that we stop noticing them as much.
And then we take them for granted. It's like familiarity breeds, I don't know, maybe not contempt, but definitely a kind of indifference. And that's a shame.
It really is. There's this one line in the book that really struck me. He says, take time to notice, love what you have, and enjoy it as if you are seeing it for the first time. Take nothing for granted.
That's powerful.
It is, right. It's like a reminder to be present, to be grateful for what we have before it's gone.
So I guess the challenge then is to try and see things with fresh eyes, even the people and places we've known for years.
It almost sounds impossible.
Maybe not impossible. I mean, think about it. What if you tried to look at your partner, your house, or even your city as if you were seeing it for the very first time?
I actually tried that the other day with my morning coffee. Instead of just gulping it down mindlessly, I really looked at it, smelled it, actually tasted it. It was different.
Better.
I don't know about better, but definitely more interesting.
I think that's the point. It's not about pretending things are new. It's about choosing to see the beauty that's already there.
I feel like there's something deeper there, too. This idea that maybe, just maybe, intentionally practicing this kind of appreciation could actually make us happier.
It's a fascinating idea, right? Could simply shifting our perspective actually rewire our brains to find more joy in the everyday?
Now, that's something worth pondering. So tell me, what will you commit to appreciating today? Even just one small thing.
That's a great question. I'll have to think about that.
Me too. It's a journey, right? But I think it's a journey worth taking.